You ever have somebody say, yeah, I believe in God, like it was a polite opinion, like God's some kind of theory or something, like the creator of time itself is up for debate. But see, I don't believe. I know. And today I'm going to tell you why. It wasn't in the church. It wasn't even when the preacher's hand touched me with all that energy that I couldn't understand. It was when I was by myself, outside under a tree, with a broken heart and a soul that had nowhere else to hide. I wasn't looking for Jesus when he found me. I was looking for a reason to disappear and give up. And that's when he showed up. Not in a robe with a rainbow, like he do, but with his presence. And it was so heavy and so alive. It like sat right on my chest like fire and peace had a baby. I knew it right then. I was never alone, not for 1 second. And that tree, it's not a tree no more. That's a throne room. Belief is something you repeat to yourself when you're still trying to convince your doubts. But knowing is when that thing touches you back. Knowing is when you walk through hell and the flame don't stick. Knowing is when you see through people like glass and it hurts, but you still rather see the truth than believe in lie. I didn't read my way into this understanding. I just remembered it. Like someone whispered in my bones and said, "You've been here before." Ever since that moment, my words ain't mine. They just come from knowing. Because knowing speaks right through you. People hear me talk and think I'm preaching or crazy or just making stuff up. They think I'm trying to convert them. Like I got a Bible in one hand and a checklist in the other. They don't get it. I'm not selling belief. I'm reporting from the inside of truth. I don't speak from hope. I speak from memory. I'm not guessing what God might be. I felt it in my bloodstream. I'm not wondering if the spirit is real. I've watched it rearrange my whole life without touching a single thing. Just by shifting the light around me. Some of us came here remembering. And we was born with a scream in our chest that said, something is off. And instead of going numb, we went nuclear. We asked questions about holidays, where'd the stars come from? Saw right through the teachers. We knew that right then they was lying. We cried when a spirit would pass through a room and nobody would even notice. That's not belief, that's encoded memory. And when you finally stop fighting it, when you surrender to what you already are, that knowing turns into instruction. Not from outside, but from the flame inside your own breath. So no, I do not believe anymore. I know. I've sat in silence and I heard God say my name without a sound. I've walked through the fire with no bitterness. I've been called crazy, disrespected, misunderstood by the very people I'm trying to love. And still, I rise with the word in my chest, and I will not shut up. Just like my man Jesus, I will go to the cross to spread the good news. God is within you. So let them believe if they want. Let them study if they want. Let them cast people to hell if they want. Let them debate on the quotes and compare the scriptures. As for me, I'm going to keep knowing. And I'm going to let that knowing pour out like a river of fire straight from the throne of heaven into every microphone I can get my hands on. Because the truth is not something I hope for. It's something I carry. And every time I speak, it remembers me. Now let me tell you how I know, because the world didn't always feel like a mystery when I was young. It was easy. Life was just handed to me. Anything I wanted, walked right up, sat on my lap. I felt good. I wasn't the coolest, but I was smooth in nature, and I was connected because I felt very good intentioned, I always came with pure intentions, no angles. Till one day, my life just changed. The world started feeling fake, like people were puppets, like smiles were scripts, like everyone just told you whatever they thought you wanted to hear. And I just started wondering, like, what is this? Who are these people? Who am I? What is life? And the worst part, my instincts were always right. But I didn't even care about being right. I didn't want to be smart. I wanted anyone to admit it, to say, yeah, I see you. But they never did. Not once did anyone see me. And then came the storm. I lost everything. My family, it broke me. Wrecked my heart. Ran the streets, did the prison thing for some years. Tried to convince myself I was some kind of tough guy out here. But I knew deep down that life was not for me. I was always supposed to be teaching. I love God, and I love the idea of helping people. But I couldn't fit that into no church choir boy box, Clergy, nah, that role wasn't for me. And the story they gave us, I could feel the truth buried in it, but I also felt the distortion. It was like the Bible had power, but people were handling it like it was plastic. And here's the thing, after my awakening, every book speaks to me. I can open any page of the Bible and find the message that I need. Every time. It's not belief, that's alignment. That's connection to source. I've always been poetic, had my bars, but I wasn't no rapper, I was a messenger. A soul that spoke in rhyme, because that's how the spirit stings the air. And even after all my bad luck, after the prison, I tried to be normal. Couldn't find joy in the world's game, though. I'd accomplish something, and then 5 minutes later, I'll sit there like, is that it? I get bored, disconnected, like the world don't like me. Like I was a weirdo in a world that only loved reflections. And then came the day, that day I was feeling like a lame, hopeless, like nothing I had done mattered. Like it was the lowest moment of my life. And then it happened. It was gentle, poetic. It was an emotional detonation. And I remembered, I used to be the sun. But that wasn't the first flash. The first memory was even older. I remember killing a giant in a palace long, long ago. And then the floodgates opened. I started realizing I could remember all kinds of things if I just focused on it. I knew things about Jesus I never studied. I felt like maybe like I was him. Not like I'm the Christ reincarnated kind of way, but like he was just like me. Suddenly all that distance I had felt from him, the idea that he was this perfect and I was a mess, melted away. I realized Jesus wasn't here to be worshipped. He was here to be understood. He was a rebel with pure love. A truth-slinging who didn't even care about anyone who hated him. He was light in the flesh, and his whole gospel was about heaven later. It was not. It was about heaven now. He said the kingdom is inside you. He said you are the light of this world. And I realized that's what I've been seeing all along. That's what I've been trying to say my whole life. And this ain't about titles. It ain't about being chosen or special. It's about knowing what I know because the fire lit itself inside of me. I don't need to be right anymore. I just need people to see. They don't gotta agree. I just need to be real for me. Because every time I speak the truth, I can feel God nodding. Not out there in the sky, but inside of me. I don't believe, I know. And I ain't gonna stop speaking until every lost soul hears the same fire they're in their own chest. They'll realize, they'll remember that they were never meant to just survive this world. They were meant to set it on fire.